I never thought a single afternoon could change everything about my life, or, at least, the life I thought I knew. My name is Alex, and I've always lived a double life. Outwardly, I'm just another college student, a part-time barista at the local cafe, balancing lectures, assignments, and the occasional hangout with friends. But behind closed doors, I have a secret that I've kept buried for years, one that I've only ever shared with myself. I love crossdressing. It's not about being someone else or escaping reality. It's about expression, about exploring a side of me that feels real and alive in a way my everyday life never does. Makeup brushes in hand, I can transform into someone glamorous, someone confident, someone I sometimes wish I could be every day. But the thrill comes with danger. The smallest slip-up, the wrong person walking into the room, and my secret life could be exposed. And I've been careful until today. I live with my older sister, Emma, who is outgoing, social, and effortlessly stunning. She's the type of person who seems to draw people in without even trying. She also happens to have a boyfriend, Ryan, a tall, charismatic guy who's always around, laughing, joking, and making everyone feel slightly nervous because of his charm. I've met him a few times, enough to know that he's attentive, confident, and completely unaware of my secret. Until today. The afternoon had started like any other. Emma had gone out to visit a friend, and I was left alone in our apartment. A rare, uninterrupted stretch of free time, the perfect opportunity to indulge in my private hobby. I had set up my little corner in the bedroom, the mirror facing me, the soft glow of the vanity lights illuminating my collection of lipsticks, eyeshadows, and brushes. It was almost ceremonial. As I swiped on foundation, contouring my face carefully, I felt that familiar shiver of anticipation. The transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. The moment the eyeliner kissed my lids and the mascara darkened my lashes, I could feel confidence blooming inside me. Wearing one of Emma's dresses, I spun in front of the mirror, laughing quietly at how alive I felt. The silky fabric clung perfectly, the heels giving me an elegant lift, and suddenly, I wasn't Alex anymore. I was someone dazzling, someone irresistible. But I also knew the risk. The hallway outside the bedroom wasn't locked, and Emma's friends, like Ryan, sometimes came by unannounced. I was acutely aware that even a shadow at the door could unravel everything. Still, the temptation was irresistible. I wanted to see myself fully, in the mirror and in the world of fantasy I created. It was then that I heard it, the faintest click of the front door. My heart froze. I froze. Emma shouldn't be back for another hour. But the sound was unmistakable, Ryan. He had come by, probably to drop off some of Emma's things. My mind raced. Panic and excitement collided in a strange, electrifying mix. Should I hide? Should I change back instantly? My instincts screamed at me to run, but part of me, the part that loved the thrill, wanted to see what would happen. Before I could even decide, the bedroom door creaked open. There he was. Ryan, standing in the doorway, looking absolutely stunned. His eyes widened, and for a moment, neither of us moved. I was frozen in my heels, mascara still wet, lips glossed to perfection, in a dress I had borrowed from Emma's closet. My mind went blank. "Alex," he said, his voice low, a mix of curiosity and something else I couldn't quite identify. I stammered, trying to come up with an explanation, but words failed me. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. Every instinct screamed at me to run, to cover myself, to vanish. But the reality was clear. My secret life, carefully hidden for so long, had been seen. What happened next was a blur. Ryan's expression shifted from shock to something almost admiring. His gaze lingered, taking in every detail, as if seeing me like this awakened a new side of him. Part of me wanted to laugh at the absurdity, to scold him silently for invading my privacy, yet another part of me was terrified. This wasn't just a peek into my secret, it was exposure, and exposure meant consequences. I could feel my pulse racing, my cheeks flushed with a mixture of fear and something else, a dangerous excitement that I hadn't anticipated. Ryan stepped closer, cautiously, as if testing the waters. You look amazing, he said, his voice soft, almost reverent. The words should have comforted me, but instead, they made my stomach twist. Amazing? That's what he called it, and in that moment, I realized I had never been more visible or vulnerable than I was now. I backed toward the mirror, my mind spinning. This shouldn't happen. This wasn't part of the plan. I was supposed to be a lone, safe secret. But now, Ryan had seen me, not just in a moment of curiosity, but fully, completely in my element. And as much as I wanted to be angry, part of me couldn't ignore the thrill, the strange heat of excitement curling in my chest. Little did I know, that single moment would change everything. From this day forward, nothing about my secret life would ever be the same. Ryan's words, his lingering glance, the way he looked at me like I was something forbidden yet irresistible, it would haunt me, challenge me, and drag me into situations I never imagined. And I was terrified, but I couldn't look away. After Ryan's words hung in the air, I felt frozen, not just physically, but emotionally. My heart hammered in my chest, each beat echoing the panic I tried desperately to suppress. The heels pinched my feet. The dress clung uncomfortably in all the wrong places, yet somehow, it amplified the intoxicating feeling of being someone else entirely. I can explain, I stammered, stepping backward, my hands nervously fidgeting with the hem of the dress. Every brushstroke, every contour, every delicate sweep of eyeliner I had done now felt exposed under his gaze. My sanctuary, my private world, had been violated, not by malice, but by sheer coincidence. And yet, there was something in the way Ryan looked at me that made it even harder to step back into my ordinary life. He didn't move closer immediately. Instead, he just watched, like he was trying to memorize every detail, every curve, every nuance of my face transformed by makeup. His usual confident demeanor was replaced by something quieter, almost cautious, yet his eyes glimmered with an intensity that left me breathless. I never knew, he started, his voice trailing off, almost in disbelief. You do this? I nodded, swallowing hard. I don't usually. I mean, it's private. The words sounded weak even to me, and that realization hit me harder than I expected. It wasn't just my sister I had to think about. It was the world, and now, unexpectedly, Ryan had glimpsed a side of me no one else had. He smiled, softly, almost shyly. I think you look incredible. The honesty in his voice should have calmed me, but it did the opposite. It sent a shiver through me, both thrilling and terrifying. He wasn't judging me, not exactly, but he was fascinated, and that fascination made me feel dangerously exposed. My mind raced with 1,000 possibilities. What did he mean by incredible? Did he want to see more? Was this harmless curiosity, or was he imagining things I couldn't allow myself to imagine? I took a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. I shouldn't have been doing this here, I muttered, glancing at the clock. Emma would be back in an hour. I should take this moment to change back, to return to the safety of my normal appearance. But something inside me hesitated. The thrill, the danger, was almost addictive. Ryan tilted his head, studying me. You really enjoy it, don't you? The question caught me off guard. How could he tell? Was it written all over my face, the subtle curve of my lips, the confident tilt of my chin despite my nerves? I hesitated, then nodded. I do, I admitted. It's who I am, I guess. Just not in front of people. His expression softened, but there was still a spark of intrigue in his eyes. I get it. I think I understand. And, honestly, it's kind of amazing seeing this side of you. I felt a flush of heat rise to my cheeks, not from the makeup, but from the intensity of the moment. Here was Ryan, my sister's boyfriend, someone I had always tried to avoid thinking about in this context, openly admiring me in a way that made my knees weak. My chest tightened, my heartbeat quickened, and suddenly, the stakes of my secret life felt more immediate than ever. Trying to regain control, I whispered, I should change back. But as I moved toward my dresser, a strange mix of hesitation and excitement held me in place. Every step in the heels was a reminder of my vulnerability, yet also of the empowerment I felt in this form. My reflection in the mirror showed a version of myself I rarely allowed anyone to see, confident, glamorous, and terrifyingly exposed. Ryan's voice cut through my thoughts. Wait, don't rush. I froze again. What do you mean? He leaned against the doorframe, casual but deliberate, watching me with that unnerving intensity. I mean, I don't want you to hide this from me. Not if this is who you are. I want to see more. If you're comfortable. I blinked, my mind spinning. Comfortable? Could I ever be comfortable revealing this side of myself, especially to him? The thought was electrifying and terrifying in equal measure. Part of me wanted to retreat, to hide in the safety of my normal life. But another part, an almost rebellious part, wanted to take a step forward, to indulge in the danger, to feel seen in a way I had never experienced before. I hesitated, then slowly turned back to the mirror. The makeup, the dress, the heels, they all felt heavier now, as if carrying the weight of the choice I had to make. To continue was thrilling, but risky. To stop was safe, but painfully unfulfilling. Ryan didn't pressure me. He just smiled, that quiet, almost knowing smile, as if he understood my dilemma without a single word. That smile unnerved me more than anything else. I couldn't read his intentions completely, yet I was drawn to him in a way that made my pulse race and my thoughts scatter. I took a deep breath, letting the adrenaline surge through me. Okay, just a little more, I whispered, more to myself than to him. Ryan nodded approvingly. Take your time. And so I did. I adjusted my dress, letting the fabric fall perfectly over my hips. I picked up my makeup brush again, tracing my lips with a soft, precise stroke, and watched as my reflection became more polished, more alluring. Every movement was deliberate, every glance in the mirror a mix of curiosity and daring. The exhilaration of being caught, of being exposed yet admired, was intoxicating. Ryan's presence amplified everything. His eyes lingered, never judgmental, but always present. I could feel his attention on me, and it made the hair on my arms stand on end. For the first time, I wasn't just cross-dressing for myself, I was performing, in a sense, for someone else. And that performance carried a weight I had never anticipated. A sudden knock at the front door made both of us startle. My heart skipped a beat. Emma? No, she shouldn't be back yet, but it was a reminder that the danger was real. My secret could be exposed. The thrill could turn into panic in an instant. Ryan looked at me, smirking slightly, as if reading my thoughts. See? That's the part that makes it exciting, he said softly, almost teasingly. I swallowed hard. He was right. The danger, the risk, the knowledge that any moment could shatter my carefully constructed world, that was what made it intoxicating. And I couldn't deny it, even if I wanted to. I took a step closer to the mirror, my heels clicking softly against the hardwood floor, and allowed myself a final glance at the transformed version of me. It was beautiful, it was thrilling, and it was dangerously exposed. And as Ryan's eyes held mine, I realized that my life had just become infinitely more complicated and infinitely more exciting. The knock at the door still echoed in my mind, but Ryan didn't move. Instead, he leaned casually against the wall, his presence both grounding and unsettling. My pulse was erratic, part fear, part excitement, as I tried to focus on my reflection. My hands shook slightly as I reached for the wig I had carefully placed on the vanity. It was a long, chestnut-brown wig, soft and silky, that framed my face perfectly. Placing it over my head, I adjusted it until it sat just right, blending seamlessly with my features. Every movement felt amplified with Ryan watching, every adjustment a statement of confidence I wasn't sure I possessed. You really go all out, he said quietly, admiration lacing his words. I bit my lip, suddenly self-conscious under his gaze. I like to feel complete, I guess, I admitted. It's not just the clothes or the makeup, it's everything together. It's the way I feel when I see myself this way. Ryan nodded slowly, absorbing my words. I get that. I think I understand. And it's amazing. His voice had a subtle intensity, almost hypnotic. I couldn't tell if he was teasing or sincere, but I felt an unexpected warmth spread through me. The danger of being caught, the thrill of exposure, and the magnetic pull of his gaze created a heady mixture that made it almost impossible to think clearly. I decided to take a cautious step forward, letting my fingers trail over the fabric of the dress one last time. The material was soft, luxurious, and clung to every curve. The heels made me acutely aware of my posture, forcing me to move deliberately, elegantly, with a new kind of grace that felt alien yet intoxicating. "You're beautiful," Ryan said softly, and my stomach twisted in a mix of delight and anxiety. Those words, so simple yet charged with meaning, made my knees weak. I had never been complimented like this, not by anyone, and certainly not in this vulnerable form. "Stop staring," I muttered, though my voice betrayed a hint of pleasure. "It's embarrassing." He chuckled, but it wasn't mocking. It was warm, intimate, and slightly teasing. "You think this is embarrassing? I think it's incredible. And I want to see more. If you let me." My breath caught. "More? Like what?" I asked, my voice almost trembling. The thought of going further, of fully exposing myself to him, was both thrilling and terrifying. "Anything you're comfortable with," he said, taking a cautious step closer. "I'm not going to pressure you. I want to see the real you." The words lingered, electrifying the room. I knew he meant it. There was honesty in his gaze that I couldn't ignore. And yet, the risk was enormous. Emma's return was imminent, and if she caught me like this, I didn't even want to imagine the fallout. Still, I felt a surge of daring energy. This was the ultimate temptation, to continue, to show Ryan the side of me I had hidden for so long. I took a deep breath and let myself glide closer to the mirror, turning slowly to show him the transformation. My reflection stared back at me, flawless and unashamed, and for a fleeting moment, I felt truly seen. Ryan's eyes lingered, tracing every curve, every contour of my face. "I've never seen anyone like you," he said softly. "Not even Emma. You're something else entirely." The words made my heart pound. Something else entirely. That phrase, innocent on the surface, carried an undeniable weight, as if he was acknowledging not just my appearance, but the part of me I had kept hidden. My mind raced. Could this be safe? Could I trust him? Or was I stepping into dangerous territory, exposing myself to someone who could, with one wrong word, destroy my secret entirely? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed on the dresser.
"Emma."
Panic surged through me. I snatched it up, heart hammering, hoping it was something mundane, a message rather than her arrival. It was a text. "Hey Alex, leaving Ryan here for a bit. I'll be back later than expected. Don't do anything stupid. Love you." I exhaled shakily, relief and tension mingling. She wasn't coming home yet, but her words were a reminder. The window was narrow. Every second with Ryan in the room was a risk, yet the forbidden thrill made it almost impossible to retreat. Ryan's gaze softened, perceptive as ever. "Looks like it's just us for now," he said quietly. "So, you want to show me more?" I hesitated, my fingers brushing over my lips nervously. I don't know. It's complicated." He stepped even closer, lowering his voice. "I get it, but I think we could make it fun. Just you and me. No judgment." The words sent a shiver down my spine. Fun. No judgment. Those were dangerous words in my mind, a siren call that whispered of exposure and thrill. Yet, they were also intoxicating, tempting me to step further into this secret world I had always cherished alone. I looked at myself in the mirror. The reflection staring back was confident, elegant, beautiful. Every part of me that I had hidden, every layer of identity I had protected, was now on display, not just for me, but for Ryan. And the truth hit me like a bolt. I had never felt so alive, so vulnerable, and so dangerously exhilarated all at once. Taking a trembling step forward, I let him guide me gently, showing him subtle movements, the way I could adjust the dress, the way a tilt of my head or a flick of my wrist could transform my expression entirely. Ryan's eyes followed every motion, captivated, fascinated, and it made me feel more visible than I had ever been. The room was charged with a silent tension. Each glance, each subtle movement, carried weight. Each second stretched like an eternity. And I realized something terrifyingly exhilarating. Ryan wasn't just a witness. He was now a participant in this hidden side of me. The thrill, the fear, the danger, it was intoxicating. I knew Emma could return at any moment. I knew my secret could be exposed in an instant. And yet, I couldn't stop. I didn't want to stop. In that moment, I understood that this afternoon, this encounter, would change everything. My secret, my thrill, my hidden identity, all of it was now entangled with Ryan, and there was no going back. The room felt smaller now, charged with a quiet electricity between Ryan and me. Every movement I made in the heels, every subtle shift of the dress, seemed magnified under his gaze. The thrill of being seen, of being admired for something I had always kept secret, was intoxicating, yet fear coiled in my stomach like a serpent. I adjusted the wig carefully, smoothing it over my shoulders and letting it fall just right. Each strand felt heavier than usual, almost symbolic, as if this transformation carried not only glamour but consequence. Ryan's eyes followed my every motion, not with judgment, but with fascination that made my cheeks warm and my pulse race. "You know," he said quietly, breaking the charged silence. "I didn't expect this. I mean, you're incredible, Alex. I've never seen anyone like this before." I swallowed hard, heart hammering. I've always kept it private," I admitted, my voice low. "I've never shown anyone, not Emma, not anyone." His expression softened, but the intensity in his eyes didn't waver. "And now you're showing me. That makes me feel special." I froze, unsure whether to smile or pull away. The compliment, though innocent on the surface, carried a weight that made me feel vulnerable. Part of me wanted to run, to retreat into the safety of normalcy. But the other part, the part that had spent years hiding the side of myself, wanted to savor it, to revel in the fact that someone saw me completely. I took a deep breath, letting my fingers glide over the fabric of the dress once more. The silk clung to every curve, and the heels made my posture perfect, forcing me to move with a grace I had rarely allowed myself to embrace. I like feeling complete," I whispered. "It's not just the clothes or makeup. It's everything together. The person I become when I do this." Ryan's gaze softened, yet there was a spark of curiosity that made my knees weak. I understand. And it's amazing. You're beautiful, Alex. Not just like this, but all of it." The words were dangerous, addictive. My chest tightened, and I felt the familiar shiver of excitement mixed with fear. Exposure had never felt so thrilling. Every second, every glance carried risk, but also a rush I had never experienced. I stepped closer to the mirror, slowly adjusting my pose, letting him see the transformation from every angle. My reflection stared back, confident and dazzling, yet vulnerable in a way that made my pulse spike. This was me, my true self, and for the first time, someone else was witnessing it fully. Then, without warning, a sound cut through the charged air, a knock on the bedroom door. Sharp, deliberate. My heart jumped. Emma? She shouldn't be back for another hour. My mind raced. I froze in my heels, hands clutching the dress, as panic surged through me. Ryan's expression shifted instantly, alert but calm. "Go check," he whispered, a hint of mischief in his voice. I shook my head, panic twisting in my stomach. "I can't, she'll see me like this." The knock came again, louder this time. I glanced at the door, then back at Ryan, who looked almost amused. "Maybe it's a neighbor," he suggested, but his tone held an edge of thrill, as if he wanted me to face the danger. I took a shaky breath, my fingers trembling as I reached for the door handle. Every instinct screamed at me to hide, to run, but my curiosity and the adrenaline coursing through my veins kept me rooted in place. I opened the door just a crack, peering out. A delivery man stood there holding a small package. Relief washed over me, but it was short-lived. He smiled politely and left, and I closed the door, my body still trembling from the scare. Ryan chuckled softly. See? Nothing to worry about. That's part of the thrill, isn't it? I bit my lip, torn between anger and excitement. The thrill. He was right, it was addictive. The danger, the exposure, the forbidden nature of this encounter, it all made me feel more alive than I had ever felt. As I returned to the mirror, Ryan's gaze followed me, unwavering. Do you want me to help? He asked almost tentatively. I froze, unsure what he meant. Help how? Help with finishing the look, he said softly. The hair, the makeup, if you're comfortable. My mind raced. This was dangerous territory. Trusting him, letting him touch this side of me, could ruin everything if it went wrong. And yet, the idea of sharing this moment, of someone seeing me fully and accepting me, was irresistible. I nodded slowly, heart hammering. Okay, just carefully. Ryan stepped closer, his hands gentle as he adjusted the wig, smoothing stray strands. His touch was careful, deliberate, and the sensation sent shivers down my spine. I could feel my pulse in my ears, a mix of fear, excitement, and something deeper that I couldn't name. You're perfect, he whispered, his voice barely audible. I've never seen anyone like this. The words hit me like lightning. Perfect. That single word, simple yet loaded, made my chest tighten and my knees weak. I realized with a start that this was more than admiration. It was desire. And that realization made my heart race, my thoughts scatter. A sudden noise from the living room made both of us jump, a sound of footsteps, too deliberate to be coincidence. Emma? My stomach dropped. Panic surged, adrenaline pumping so fast I could feel it in every muscle. Ryan's eyes met mine, and in that brief moment, I saw a flicker of daring, almost playful recklessness. We need to be quick, he said quietly, his voice urgent but calm. I nodded, my mind spinning. Every second now was a balancing act between thrill and disaster. The danger was real, and the stakes had never been higher. My secret, my transformation, my hidden identity, it was all teetering on the edge, and one misstep could shatter everything. And yet, even in the panic, even in the fear, a strange exhilaration surged through me. This was the most alive I had ever felt. The sound of footsteps in the living room had my heart hammering like a drum. Every nerve in my body screamed at me to hide, to vanish, to undo the careful transformation I had worked so meticulously to achieve. But Ryan's steady presence at my side, his eyes fixed on me with that unnerving mix of curiosity and desire, made me hesitate. What if she comes in? I whispered, my voice barely audible. Ryan tilted his head, his gaze sharp but calm. Then we improvise. Quick thinking, Alex. Just trust me. Improvise. The words sent a shiver through me. My mind raced. Emma could return at any moment. My secret, my entire hidden world, could collapse in an instant. And yet, the thrill of the moment, the forbidden excitement of being exposed, kept me rooted in place. I adjusted my dress again, smoothing the fabric over my hips, feeling the silky material cling perfectly. The heels forced me to hold myself upright, my posture elegant yet painfully aware of every movement. The wig framed my face just right, and the makeup shimmered subtly under the soft light of the vanity. I was complete, fully transformed, and terrifyingly exposed. Ryan's hand brushed mine as he helped me adjust a stray lock of hair. The contact was gentle, almost innocent, yet it sent a jolt of electricity through me. My pulse spiked, my chest tightened, and I felt a flush creeping up my neck. I wanted to pull away, to retreat into safety, but another part of me, the daring, rebellious part, wanted to stay, to feel his attention, to indulge in the thrill of danger. Then it happened. A sharp knock at the bedroom door, louder and more deliberate than before, made us both freeze. This time, it wasn't a casual interruption. The knock carried authority, familiarity. My stomach dropped. Emma? I whispered, panic tightening my chest. Ryan's expression shifted. His eyes were sharp now, calculating. Not her. Could be someone else, or worse. She came back early. My mind raced. There was no time to change back. Every second I hesitated was a gamble. I glanced at the mirror. My reflection was flawless, elegant, and fully feminine, but the stakes had never been higher. If Emma walked in now, if she saw me like this, the consequences could be catastrophic. The door handle jiggled. My breath caught in my throat. Panic surged, adrenaline flooding my system. I wanted to vanish, to undo everything, but Ryan's hand on my arm steadied me. Listen, he whispered, his voice low and commanding. We need a story.
Quick.
Say you're helping me with something, anything. Just keep calm, and we'll get through it. I nodded, trembling. My voice shook as I whispered, Okay, I'll try. The door creaked open slightly, and a familiar figure stepped in. My heart stopped.
Emma.
She looked at us, confusion flickering across her face. Alex, what's going on? I froze, caught in the act. My mind scrambled for an explanation, a plausible excuse that could cover the truth without shattering everything. Ryan asked me to help him with a costume thing. I stammered, the words ridiculous even as they left my mouth. Emma's eyes narrowed, suspicion sharpening. Costume thing? At home? Dressed like that? Ryan stepped forward, his usual calm confidence returning. It's a project, he said smoothly. Alex is just helping me with the details. I didn't expect her to look this good, honestly. Emma's eyes flicked between us, and I felt my stomach churn. She wasn't convinced. But Ryan's confident delivery gave me a sliver of hope. He was protecting me, shielding me from immediate exposure. And yet, the tension in the room was palpable. I felt my legs trembling in the heels, my heart racing uncontrollably. Every second, every glance, was a battle between fear and excitement. I realized with a jolt that this was the ultimate test, not just of my secrecy, but of my ability to embrace this side of myself in front of someone else. Then Emma spoke, her voice cautious, but not entirely hostile. I don't get it. Alex, why are you dressed like that? I swallowed hard, trying to steady my voice. I like it.
It's me.
It's something I've kept private, but I enjoy it. Ryan nodded, his gaze supportive, unwavering. And it's fine. She's exploring a side of herself, Emma. I think we should respect that. Emma's eyes narrowed, but I noticed a flicker of understanding, or at least curiosity, in her expression. She didn't fully grasp it yet, but she sensed the honesty in my voice and the intensity in Ryan's calm support. Then came the twist. From the corner of my eye, I saw Ryan's gaze shift subtly, a glimmer of mischief crossing his face. You know, he said softly, almost teasingly, this could be really fun. If you let it. I froze, heart hammering. Fun? What did he mean? The implications were clear, and they sent a shiver down my spine. Part of me wanted to retreat into the safety of my ordinary self. But another part, the part that had spent years hiding, yearning, imagining, wanted to step further into this dangerous game. Emma, sensing something unspoken, took a cautious step closer. Fun? Alex, Ryan, what are you talking about? Ryan's eyes met mine, and in that moment I understood. He wasn't just fascinated. He wanted more. The realization hit me like a wave, thrilling and terrifying all at once. My secret wasn't safe anymore. My identity, my vulnerability, my deepest desires, they were now entangled with Ryan, and the stakes had never been higher. I felt a shiver run through me, equal parts fear and exhilaration. The danger, the exposure, the thrill of being seen fully, this was more than I had ever experienced. And I knew, with a chilling clarity, that nothing would ever be the same again. Emma's gaze bore into me, sharp and unrelenting, yet a flicker of confusion softened the edge. My chest felt tight, the heels beneath me now more than just a fashion choice. They were a physical reminder of my vulnerability. Every step I took felt deliberate, weighted with the risk of exposure. Ryan stayed close, his presence both a shield and a challenge, daring me to embrace this moment fully. I didn't mean for you to see this. I whispered, my voice trembling. The words sounded weak even to my own ears. Emma's lips pressed together, thoughtful, while Ryan's eyes never left mine. Alex, Emma's voice softened slightly, though suspicion lingered. I don't understand why you'd hide this. Or, why Ryan is involved. I swallowed hard, trying to gather courage. It's complicated. It's not just a phase. This is me.
And
I've never felt safe enough to show anyone. Ryan stepped closer, subtly protective, yet his voice carried an edge of excitement. And now she's showing it. And I think we should just accept it for what it is. Emma's expression hardened, but she didn't interrupt. Instead, her eyes shifted, scanning me from head to toe. I could feel my reflection in the mirror. Every contour, every curve, every subtle detail of the makeup and dress on full display. The heels forced me to hold myself upright, elegant, but acutely aware of every movement. Then, almost accidentally, it happened. A small slip of the dress near my thigh revealed a flash of skin I hadn't intended to show. My heart jumped, panic rising like a wave, but Ryan's hand steadied me lightly on the waist. "It's fine," he whispered, almost teasingly. "You look perfect." The words sent a jolt through me, part fear, part exhilaration. My secret was exposed in the most intimate way yet, and yet no one, except Ryan, seemed judgmental. But the danger of Emma's scrutiny hung in the air, a constant threat. Emma's voice cut through the tension. "Alex, why are you letting him touch you like that? Isn't this risky?" I froze, torn. How could I explain that Ryan's touch, the attention, the thrill, it was part of the experience, part of the transformation I craved. And yet, the moment wasn't just about the physical, it was emotional, intimate, and terrifying. Ryan met my eyes, his gaze steady. "Because she trusts me, and I'd never betray that." The words made my chest tighten.
Trust.
That one word carried a weight heavier than any fear of exposure. I realized, with sudden clarity, that the line between danger and desire had blurred. This wasn't just about hiding, about secrecy, it was about being seen, being admired, and daring to embrace the thrill of vulnerability. Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the apartment, Emma's phone alerting her to a message. Both of us flinched. The timing was perfect and terrifying. I felt my heartbeat spike, my pulse loud in my ears. Ryan's hand tightened slightly on my waist, grounding me even as the adrenaline surged. I tried to step back, to regain composure, but the heels made my movement slower, more deliberate. Every second felt like an eternity. The thrill of danger, the fear of discovery, and the undeniable pull of Ryan's gaze collided, creating a storm of emotion I could barely control. Then Emma's voice cut through again, sharper this time. "Alex, I need you to explain. Right now." I took a deep breath, the weight of my secret pressing down like a tangible force. I've always liked dressing like this," I admitted, voice trembling. "It's who I am. I know it's strange, and I'm sorry I never told you, but I can't hide it anymore." The room fell silent. The tension was unbearable. Emma's eyes softened slightly, yet suspicion lingered. Ryan stayed close, protective yet patient, giving me the courage to continue. And then the twist came, a sound from the hallway. The front door creaked open, and for a moment, everything froze. Another person was entering the apartment, unexpected, unplanned, and completely unaware of the delicate balance we were trying to maintain. Panic surged. My heart pounded so loudly, I feared it would betray me. Ryan's hand tightened around my waist again, a silent signal to stay calm. But the intruder, someone from Emma's family, perhaps, stepped closer, curiosity evident in their movements. "Alex? Ryan?" The voice called out, casual but suspicious. I felt my knees weaken. My mind raced. Every second could be the moment of revelation. My carefully constructed world, my hidden identity, was at risk of collapsing entirely. Ryan's voice was calm, almost commanding. "Everything's fine. Just a little project we're working on." No need to worry. The intruder paused, sensing the tension. Okay? And for a moment, relief washed over me. They didn't seem to notice anything unusual, but the danger remained, just beneath the surface, a constant reminder that exposure was only moments away. As I turned back to the mirror, I realized the truth. Nothing would ever be the same. My secret, my identity, my desires, they were all exposed to Ryan now, intertwined in ways I had never imagined. And Emma's reaction would define the next chapter of this story. I felt a shiver run through me, equal parts fear, exhilaration, and anticipation. The thrill of danger, the pull of desire, and the weight of secrecy all collided in that small apartment. The stakes had never been higher, and I knew, with terrifying clarity, that there was no turning back. The apartment felt impossibly small now, every heartbeat amplified in my chest. Emma's gaze, sharp and questioning, didn't waver. Ryan stood behind me, a calm presence amidst the chaos, yet there was an undeniable intensity in his eyes, a mix of thrill, desire, and unspoken challenge. I don't know what to say, Emma murmured, her voice a mixture of confusion and hurt. Alex, why didn't you tell me? I swallowed hard. The words caught in my throat. How could I explain years of hidden longing, of secret nights spent exploring this side of myself? How could I justify the fear, the shame, and the intoxicating thrill of being seen like this? Ryan's hand brushed mine lightly, grounding me. She's telling the truth, he said softly. This is who she is. And it's beautiful. We're not harming anyone. We're just being honest. Emma's eyes narrowed, scanning both of us. For a moment, the room was suspended in tense silence. My reflection in the mirror stared back at me, flawless and vulnerable, every curve, every detail of makeup and dress fully visible. I felt exposed in a way I had never imagined, and yet the feeling was intoxicating. Then, unexpectedly, the front door slammed open. I froze, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the apartment. Footsteps pounded down the hallway. My stomach dropped. Emma's face went pale. Who? She started, but the words died in her throat. A figure appeared in the doorway, tall, imposing, and unfamiliar. My heart plummeted. Every instinct screamed danger. The intruder's eyes scanned the room, lingering on me, on Ryan, on the impossible scene before them. Ryan stepped protectively in front of me. Who are you? He demanded, voice calm but firm. The figure didn't answer immediately. Instead, they smiled, a slow, knowing, unsettling smile that sent a chill down my spine. Well, what do we have here? Panic surged through me. My knees felt weak in the heels. The dress clung tightly, almost mocking in its elegance, while my wig felt heavier than ever. Every second, every movement, felt fraught with risk. My secret, my identity, my hidden desires, they were all in danger of exposure. Emma took a cautious step back, her confusion turning to fear. Alex, what's happening? I didn't know. I couldn't answer. The figure's eyes met mine, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. A mix of fear and something more, anticipation, adrenaline, the intoxicating thrill of the unknown. Ryan's hand gripped my waist, grounding me, but the tension in his body mirrored my own. He knew, as I did, that this moment could change everything. The room was charged with suspense, the kind that makes every heartbeat thunder in your ears, every breath shallow and desperate. The intruder took a deliberate step forward. Looks like I've caught you at an interesting time, they said, voice low and deliberate. And I have to admit, I wasn't expecting to find this. My chest tightened. The thrill, the danger, the intoxicating vulnerability of being seen, all collided into a single moment. I wanted to retreat, to hide, to vanish into some safe corner. And yet I couldn't. I was frozen, exposed, utterly visible in a way I had never been before. Ryan's protective hand remained on my waist, and I leaned slightly into him, seeking the security of his presence even as the adrenaline surged through me. Emma's gaze flickered between us, confusion and suspicion mingling with something else. Curiosity, perhaps, or an unspoken understanding that this moment was beyond explanation. The intruder's smile widened, and for a brief, terrifying moment, the world seemed to slow. Every shadow, every reflection, every heartbeat was magnified. I realized, with a jolt, that my life, my secret, my very identity was teetering on the edge of revelation. Then the intruder leaned closer, voice low and almost conspiratorial. "I wonder how long you've been hiding this, and what you'll do next." The words were a spark thrown into a powder keg. Panic, excitement, fear, and anticipation surged through me all at once. My secret wasn't safe. My hidden desires, my crossdressing, my thrill of being seen, it was all exposed to someone I had never expected. Ryan's eyes met mine, and I saw the same mixture of fear and exhilaration mirrored there. We were both caught in the moment, knowing that the next second could change everything. Emma's voice trembled. "Alex, Ryan, who is this?" But I couldn't answer. My throat was tight, my heart racing. The intruder's gaze lingered on me, on the reflection in the mirror, on the delicate balance of vulnerability and confidence I had achieved. And then the intruder smiled again, slow, knowing, and almost cruel. "Well, this is going to be fun." Time seemed to freeze. My pulse thundered. Every instinct screamed that danger was imminent. Every fiber of my being was alert. I was exposed, vulnerable, caught in a web of suspense and desire that I couldn't escape. The heels dug into the floor. My dress clung tighter. My wig felt heavier. My reflection stared back at me like a mirror of two lives colliding. The Alex I had always hidden, and the version Ryan, and now this intruder, had seen. And in that frozen moment, the world narrowed to a single terrifying, exhilarating question. Would my secret survive, or would it be ripped apart in front of everyone? The answer hung in the air, unresolved, leaving my heart pounding, my breath shallow, and my audience desperate to know what happens next.